Deep in the heart of the windswept Tama oasis in Saudi Arabia, surrounded by endless miles of shifting red sands, lies a mystery that has baffled geologists, archaeologists, and internet sleuths for decades. It is a monument that seems to defy the laws of primitive human history. This is the Naslaa rock formation. At first glance, it looks like a colossal sculpture left behind by an advanced civilization. Two massive sandstone boulders, balanced precariously on tiny natural pedestals, stand side by side. But it isn't their size or their balance that leaves visitors speechless. It is the gap between them. Running directly down the center of this massive stone structure is a perfectly straight, razor-thin vertical split. The cut is so precise, so incredibly sharp, that it looks as if a modern, high-powered industrial laser sliced through the solid rock with absolute ease. If you were to run your hand down the division, you would find no jagged edges, no uneven shattering, just a flawless, parallel separation that has remained stable for thousands of years. How is this possible? If you ask mainstream scientists, they will tell you about joint fractures, thermal expansion, or the abrasive power of wind-blown sand. But to the human eye, these explanations feel incomplete. How could random natural forces create a line so perfectly geometric? If this was indeed the work of nature, it represents one of the most astonishing, one-in-a-million geological coincidences on Earth. But what if it wasn't nature? What if the force behind this clean cut was intelligent? This rock is not just an empty geological anomaly, it is an ancient canvas. Carved onto its flat faces are beautiful, enigmatic petroglyphs depicting horses, camels, and human figures. These carvings prove that ancient humans did not just pass by this rock, they revered it. In antiquity, the Tama oasis was a crucial trade route, a place where different cultures converged. Did these ancient people carve these images to commemorate a bizarre natural landmark, or were they documenting something far more extraordinary? The mystery of Naslaa has divided the world into two fiercely opposing camps. On one side are the skeptics and geologists, who argue that freeze-thaw cycles and tectonic shifts are solely responsible. On the other side are fringe historians and ancient astronaut theorists, who argue that the sheer precision of the cut is undeniable proof of prehistoric high technology, or even extraterrestrial intervention. Could an advanced intelligence have visited our ancestors, leaving behind this literal cut in stone as a calling card? In this 6-part documentary series, Mindbenders is going on a journey to crack the mystery of Naslaa. We will examine the bizarre geology, investigate the ancient civilizations of Arabia, and put the wildest theories to the ultimate test. Welcome to Part 1. Prepare to look beneath the surface, because what we find might just rewrite the history of our world. To understand if the Naslaa formation is truly the calling card of an advanced, prehistoric intelligence, we must first put nature on trial. To mainstream science, this 30-foot-tall sandstone giant is not the work of ancient lasers, but the masterpiece of a patient, relentless sculptor, time. Geologists argue that we don't need to look to the stars to explain this perfect division. The primary suspect in this ancient geological cold case is a physical phenomenon known as frost wedging. Sandstone is inherently porous, acting like a giant, solid sponge. Millions of years ago, when the Arabian Peninsula experienced a much wetter, greener climate, rainwater would seep deep into the rock's natural microscopic fissures. When desert temperatures plummeted below freezing at night, this trapped water froze and expanded by approximately 9%. This relentless expansion acted as a literal hydraulic wedge, pushing the rock apart from the inside out. Over thousands of freeze-thaw cycles, a microscopic crack can unzip an entire mountain. But could a process so chaotic truly produce a cut so straight and clean? This is where the geological concept of jointing comes into play. Geologists point out that sedimentary rock formations like sandstone are notorious for forming joint planes, exceptionally straight, vertical fractures created by tectonic pressure and regional shifting. When the Earth's crust moves, these rocks do not always shatter chaotically, instead, they split cleanly along pre-existing, natural planes of weakness. To the untrained eye, the resulting fissure looks like the work of high-tech machinery. To a geologist, it is simply a natural tectonic snap. Once this split occurred, wind-blown sand acted as nature's sandpaper, smoothing the inner faces over millennia. But the central split is only half the mystery. Look closely at how the two halves stand. They are perfectly balanced on two remarkably small, delicate stone pedestals, barely touching the ground. This is what geologists call a pedestal rock, or a mushroom rock. In desert environments, wind-driven sand concentrates close to the ground, acting like a low-flying sandblaster. Over thousands of years, this abrasive force erodes the bottom of the rock much faster than the top, carving out these fragile-looking support columns. It is a stunning display of natural physics. On paper, the scientific explanation seems neat and tidy. Frost wedging split the rock, jointing kept the line straight, and wind erosion carved the pedestals. Case closed. Or is it? Critics of the mainstream geological theory point out a glaring anomaly that science struggles to resolve. Natural joint fractures are almost never this perfectly vertical, nor do they maintain a uniform, millimeter-wide gap across such a massive surface area. Usually, tectonic shifts leave behind jagged edges, stepped surfaces, or heavy debris. Yet, Naslaa defies this pattern entirely. If this was a natural tectonic fracture, why is there no evidence of friction? Why didn't the two massive halves collapse against one another as their bases eroded into thin pedestals? The mainstream geological explanation relies on a perfect storm of multiple, highly precise natural coincidences occurring in flawless harmony. Is that a scientific reality, or a convenient excuse to avoid an uncomfortable truth? In Part 3, we leave the geologists behind and step into the dust of human history. We will investigate the ancient oasis of Tama, and discover the bizarre artifacts left behind by the humans who once worshipped this rock. Did they know the secret of the cut? To truly understand the mystery of Naslaa, we must travel back in time, away from the sterile labs of geologists and into the ancient, whispering sands of the Arabian desert. Just a short distance from this bizarre rock formation lies the oasis of Tama. Today, it is a quiet, sun-baked outpost, but thousands of years ago, it was one of the most important hubs of the ancient world. Positioned along the lucrative incense route, Tama was a sprawling, wealthy oasis that attracted merchants, armies, and even kings. In fact, Nabonidus, the last king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, actually abandoned his capital of Babylon to live in Tama for 10 years. Why would the ruler of the world's greatest empire retreat to this specific desert oasis? Was he drawn by a hidden, sacred power in the landscape? Humans did not just pass by Naslaa, they interacted with it. If you look closely at the flat face of the split rock, you will find ancient petroglyphs. Intricately carved into the sandstone are depictions of horses, camels, and human figures. Archaeologists date some of these carvings back thousands of years, proving that ancient societies held this specific rock in high regard. But this raises a profound question: were these carvings made before, or after, the rock was split? If the split occurred after the carvings, it suggests a terrifyingly precise natural event, or a highly advanced intervention, that carefully avoided destroying the artwork. But if the split was already there, did these ancient peoples try to replicate it, or perhaps worship it as a monument of the gods? Some alternative historians suggest that we consistently underestimate the technological capabilities of ancient desert civilizations. Take the Nabateans, for example, who famously carved the breathtaking city of Petra out of solid cliff faces. They were undisputed masters of stone, knowing how to manipulate rock with astonishing precision. However, even the most advanced tools of the Bronze and Iron Ages, copper saws, wooden wedges soaked in water, and iron chisels, leave behind very specific, highly visible marks. They leave behind grooves, uneven fractures, and impact scars. Yet, the inner walls of the Naslaa split are as smooth as glass. There are no chisel marks. No grooves. No signs of brute force. How could an ancient civilization, using primitive tools, achieve a cut that rivals modern industrial technology, without leaving a single trace of their craftsmanship? Or did they possess a forgotten technology, a method of focusing energy or heat that has been lost to the sands of time? As we dig deeper into the archaeology of Tama, the boundary between natural wonder and ancient high-tech begins to blur. In Part 4, we will examine the wildest theory of all, the extraterrestrial connection. Could Naslaa be the world's oldest test cut of an alien laser? To make sure you don't miss the next mind-bending chapter of this investigation, hit that subscribe button now, turn on notifications, and join us as we journey deeper into the unexplained. Welcome back to Mind Benders. In our last episode, we left off at the absolute edge of the impossible, a clean, laser-straight slice through solid sandstone. If ancient humans didn't do it with copper saws and wooden wedges, then who, or what, did? This brings us to the most controversial, internet-shattering theory of all, the extraterrestrial hypothesis. For decades, alternative historians have argued that Naslaa is not a natural formation, but rather a relic of advanced, off-world technology. The narrative proposed by ancient astronaut theorists is as fascinating as it is wild. They suggest that thousands of years ago, highly advanced extraterrestrial visitors arrived in the oasis of Tama. Perhaps they needed to calibrate their high-powered thermal cutters or directed energy weapons on local materials. Or perhaps they wanted to leave an unmistakable, enduring monument for future generations, a calling card of their supreme technological presence. To a civilization capable of interstellar travel, slicing a massive block of sandstone in half would have been as effortless as cutting through warm butter. It is not just the incredible straightness of the cut that fuels this sci-fi narrative, it is the sheer physics of how the rock has survived. Look closely at how Naslaa stands. The two massive halves are perfectly balanced on tiny, pedestal-like natural bases. If a massive earthquake, a violent geological shift, or a clumsy mechanical force had split this rock, the kinetic impact would have sent both halves crashing to the desert floor. Yet, they remain standing, perfectly upright, separated by a gap of just a few centimeters. Proponents argue this is proof the cut was made with zero kinetic impact, a feat only achievable by a massless beam of concentrated light, heat, or acoustic energy. Adding to the deep mystique of the site are the ancient petroglyphs carved onto the rock's face. One prominent carving depicts a beautifully stylized horse and a human figure standing beside it. Some alternative researchers wonder, could these carvings be a form of ancient eyewitness testimony? Did the local nomadic tribes witness a spectacular, terrifying event in the sky and record their awe on the very stone that was altered by the gods? Or were these carvings made long before, and the rock was targeted by an advanced beam precisely because it held cultural significance? As thrilling as the alien laser theory is, mainstream science offers a radically different, far more grounded perspective. Geologists and archaeologists argue that we do not need to look to the stars to explain the mystery of Naslaa. They claim that the universe's most powerful and patient sculptor is not an alien spaceship, but Mother Nature herself, operating over millions of years of geological time. But can simple wind, water, and shifting tectonic plates really mimic the mathematical precision of a modern industrial laser cutter? In Part 5, we are going to put the extraterrestrial theories aside and put the geological explanations to the ultimate test. We will explore the bizarre science of jointing, the destructive freezing power of desert nights, and how a single, tiny drop of water might actually hold the key to this ancient riddle. Is nature truly capable of such perfect geometry, or is science just trying to explain away the impossible? To make sure you don't miss the next mind-bending chapter of this investigation, hit that subscribe button now, turn on notifications, and join us as we journey deeper into the unexplained. Welcome back to Mind Benders. In our quest to unravel the mystery of Naslaa, we have danced with the extraordinary, exploring theories of ancient astronauts, advanced energy weapons, and lost high-tech civilizations. But now, it is time to bring our feet firmly back to Earth. Can the slow, unyielding laws of geology truly explain a cut so straight it looks manufactured? To understand how this could happen naturally, we have to look beneath the desert sands to a phenomenon known as geological jointing. Sandstone, the sedimentary material that makes up the Naslaa formation, is highly susceptible to tectonic pressures. Over millions of years, as the Earth's crust shifts and moves, immense pressure builds up within these massive stone formations. When this pressure becomes too great, the rock doesn't simply crumble, instead, it releases tension by snapping along a natural plane of weakness. This creates a fracture called a joint. Geologists point out that these joints are often incredibly straight, running vertically for dozens of feet. To the untrained eye, it looks like a clean laser slice, but to a scientist, it is the classic signature of a tectonic shear fracture. But a joint is just a microscopic seam. How does a tiny seam become an open, razor-sharp gap? For that, we need the ultimate combination of two simple elements, water and temperature. The Arabian Desert is a land of extreme contrasts. While daytime temperatures can soar to blistering heights, the nights can drop to near freezing. When rare desert rains fall, water seeps deep into the pre-existing joint. As night falls and the temperature plummets, this trapped water freezes. When water turns to ice, it expands by about 9%, acting as an incredibly powerful, natural hydraulic wedge. This process, known as frost wedging, repeats over thousands of winters. With every freeze-and-thaw cycle, the ice pushes the two halves of Naslaa a fraction of a millimeter further apart, eventually creating the clean, flat gap we see today. But what about the pedestal bases? Why does this giant, heavy rock sit so delicately on what look like tiny, eroded feet? This is where aeolian processes, or wind-blown erosion, come into play. In the desert, wind acts like a continuous sheet of sandpaper, carrying abrasive sand grains. Because gravity keeps these heavy sand particles close to the ground, the strongest erosion occurs within the first few feet of the desert floor. Over millennia, this localized sandblasting slowly ate away at the lower sections of Naslaa, carving out the delicate, balanced pedestals while leaving the top of the rock relatively untouched. It is a brilliant, elegant explanation that relies entirely on physics, chemistry, and time. It shows that Mother Nature is indeed a master sculptor, capable of creating geometric wonders without a single drop of alien technology. But is this geological explanation watertight? Or are there anomalies at Naslaa that even the smartest scientists cannot fully explain? In the final, thrilling chapter of our investigation, we will weigh the evidence, expose the critical flaws in the mainstream theories, and deliver our final verdict on who, or what, really cut this rock in half. While the scientific explanation of frost wedging and wind erosion is incredibly compelling, it is not without its skeptics. To truly solve the mystery of Naslaa, we must pressure test these geological theories against the harsh, unforgiving realities of the Saudi Arabian desert. Let's start with frost wedging. For water to freeze, expand, and split a colossal sandstone block with such laser-like precision, you need two things: abundant water and consistent, dramatic temperature swings across the freezing point. But Naslaa sits in the Tema Oasis, a region notorious for its hyperarid conditions. While desert temperatures do drop at night, instances of actual freezing are rare, and rainfall is virtually non-existent. Geologists argue that the split happened thousands of years ago during a much wetter climate epoch. Yet, critics point out a massive flaw: if water cracked the rock, why is the cut so miraculously straight? Natural fractures almost always follow the path of least resistance, resulting in jagged, uneven, or wavy lines. Naslaa's cut, however, looks like it was sliced with a hot knife through butter. This brings us back to the ultimate question: could human hands, armed with lost ancient technology, have achieved this? We know the Tema Oasis was a bustling hub on ancient trade routes, inhabited by advanced civilizations who carved intricate petroglyphs, including the famous horse and human figures still visible on Naslaa itself. Could these ancient people have used copper saws, water, and abrasive sand to deliberately slice the rock as a monument or boundary marker? While technically possible, the sheer scale of cutting a 30-foot-tall sandstone boulder in half using primitive hand tools would require decades of grueling, seemingly pointless labor. So, where does the truth lie? The alien laser theory, while thrilling, lacks any physical evidence. There are no radiation anomalies, no melted silica, and no trace elements that suggest extraterrestrial technology was ever used here. The ancient human theory is culturally rich, but lacks a logical motive. Why expend unimaginable effort to cut a giant rock in half, only to leave it sitting in the middle of the desert? That leaves us with the most extraordinary sculptor of all, Mother Nature. Naslaa is almost certainly the result of a highly unusual, perfect storm of geological coincidences. A pre-existing natural joint plane in the sandstone, exploited by rare moisture over millennia, and perfectly finished by the abrasive, sand-laden winds of the desert. It is a one-in-a-million masterpiece. The real magic of Naslaa isn't that aliens visited Saudi Arabia, it is that the blind, unyielding forces of our own planet can create something so perfectly geometric that it forces us to question our own reality. Now, we want to hear from you. Having weighed all the evidence, which explanation do you believe? Was it the patient, elegant hand of Mother Nature, the forgotten genius of ancient human stonecutters, or is there still a part of you that thinks something out of this world left its mark in the desert? Tell us your theories in the comments below,